everyone, this is Beth Eldricken with IO9, and I'm here with Adam Savage, who just completed yet another Incognito Cosplay. How many is this now?
Oh God, it's in the 20s.
20s, oh my goodness. What's kept you doing it all this time?
The same answer I read a violinist who's 95 years old and still practiced every day, was asked, why are you still practicing? He said, because I think I'm making real progress. And this is the thing, is it's different for me every single time. Every cosplay has different challenges and different rewards. And I love moving from things like I just did Star-Lord at Silicon Valley Comic-Con, and I come here and I do No Face, and No Face is so different. Just this amorphous blob with the giant animatronic maw, and the mechanism for No Face kicked my ass. It took I thought it was going to take 2 days, it took 7 or 8. I had to build it 4 or 5 times, and all of that is worth it. When I walked out of my changing room and they see No Face walk in, and I go, No Face, and I went, blah, 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 and I started talking, and the whole hallway went, oh.
You know, it was a unique challenge, but it was familiar because it's a cosplay that you've done before.
Yes.
So what made you decide to revisit it with this new challenge? Was it because of the fan reaction, or was it like a personal drive to do this new thing?
I'm far from the first person to add the gaping maw to No Face. Many No Face cosplayers have done it before. And the second I saw it, which is after I had done my first No Face, I was like, oh, that's great. That's really great. And then I just sort of let it sit there and percolate for, honestly, 6 or 7 years. And then there's a certain point I was like, oh, this could be really neat. It could be a single actuator, it could be really, really straightforward mechanically, but the result could be really arresting, and you don't often see full animatronics out on the costume floor.
What brings you the most satisfaction when you've finished a cosplay build? Is it, getting to that accomplishment, or is it seeing people react to it?
It's such a good question, because it's both of those things. The costume is only what I'm looking for when I make something. Anything is I'm looking for an experience. When I make a TV show, I'm telling a story. I'm looking to give the viewer the experience I would want if I was them and watching this program for the first time. And when I make a costume, the making of that costume is only half of the equation. The other half is sharing that costume and coming onto the floor and participating in this theater that we enjoy here at these cons, where the audience and the performers, the lines between them is completely blurry. And I love that. So to me, the costume isn't a full costume until I've fulfilled its purpose by wearing it in public.
So you're mentioning that this, you had to go through this a few times to get the one that actually worked. What were the mechanical challenges, and why did it take those few times?
Because it's been a long time since I've done mechanical work for hire. And it's a mindset. So the first time I started out by doing a bunch of drawings of what I wanted out of the mechanism. And so it's a mouth about like this with teeth and a tongue, and I wanted lips. So I knew specifically I wanted the mouth to not be visible when it was closed, or less visible, because I wanted that surprise. So extrapolating from that, I knew I wanted the lips to move separately than the mouth. This is a classic linkage that Stuart Freeborn came up with for Chewbacca and for Moonwatcher from 2001. And I wanted the same mechanism, cables that let the lips open after the jaw opened. And the problem I ran into was the first iteration was just too lightweight. This is a big burly mechanism, and it needs big springs and big pieces of mechanical stuff. And the first time I tried it, I bent it. I just tried operating it and it bent, so I had to take that apart, use better materials. Then the springs weren't strong enough, so I had to buy better springs. Then the cabling wasn't strong enough. I had to make bigger cables. Then I had to scrap the whole thing because I was at that point modding so much. I had this thing with holes in it, so I started from scratch again. And that happened twice.
So at one point when you're building this thing and it's getting heavier and heavier, and you're like, I got to carry this around for an hour or two walking around. At one point, are you just like, this might be a little bit too much?
No, I don't think that, because I'm super cognizant that I have this tremendous luxury of being able to come here and get support from the venue to go change in and out of my costume. The cosplayers that are here are like getting changed in a hotel room across town. They're taking the subway or a cab in some kind of giant mermaid, sweating balls in that thing all day long on the floor. So whenever I get remotely like, oh, this might be uncomfortable, I think about those guys. Like, I have it way easier than them. All that being said, being able to see and breathe is really important. So I make sure for anything that's going to be hot that I've got fans inside and stuff to keep me comfortable.
So you do this, public incognito where you go out and you make this very big, beautiful, elaborate costume. Do you still go out and do true incognito on your own?
I do. I did yesterday.
Oh, you did?
I did. My friend Sasha wanted to try cosplay, and I was like, well, if you're going to be in New York in the fall, we should just walk together. So yesterday, she dressed up as one of the early Jerry Anderson, not Thunderbirds, but a different show, a character from that. And I put on my Moonwatcher mask for 2001, and I put on Jack Aubrey's uniform from Master and Commander, simply because it's one of my favorite costumes. And we walked the floor here for about an hour yesterday.
That's actually something that's always been really fascinating to me, because a lot of times when people cosplay, it's to embody the character and to become somebody else. But when you're a recognizable person, it's almost like you're doing it to kind of to protect yourself and be able to go out and just do whatever you want. So what is that experience like?
Well, I thought it's fun. The very first time I did it, which was my first Comic-Con, I went as Hellboy. I thought that making the full Hellboy costume would allow me to just blend in and enjoy the con. And the problem was the costume was so elaborate, I was taking more pictures as Hellboy than if I had just gone as me. And that's when I realized there is this split, that like any costume you make that covers your whole body is almost guaranteed to be remarkable and noteworthy. Because it's just such a commitment to see someone, when you see someone in a full, even just something that's super common here, like a stormtrooper, you still know that you're looking at the spear point of hundreds of hours of work and love and time and armor bites and things.
Well, one cosplay that we've seen before is people actually cosplaying as you.
Yeah, that's maybe the most surreal aspect of this whole thing.
Is there because people do like alt versions of different cosplay. Is there an alt version of Adam Savage that you've wanted to see somebody do? Or?
Oh yeah, it's Simon Pegg.
Okay.
Or Alton Brown. Simon and Alton and I know both of those fine gentlemen, and all three of us have been mistaken for, Simon and I have been mistaken for each other, and Alton and I have been mistaken for each other, and both Alton and I have both been in positions where the path of least resistance just for one fan was to go, yeah, it's me. And it was like, I think I was on the phone, I was talking to my mom, a family member died, and someone was like, Alton Brown, sign this thing. And I was just like, so anyway, Mom, so somewhere out there, there's someone who's got Alton Brown's autograph, and it's mine.